Welcome to the Vol Bros presented by the Ooltewah Club. My name is Evan. This is my brother Ruston, and we are two Vol Bros who are actually bros in real life. And as always, we're proud to represent the University of Tennessee on the Believe Entertainment Network, vast network of a lot of different shows representing all the major universities around the country. So we're proud to be on that as well. We got an abbreviated show tonight because the Lady Vols literally just finished wrapping up a 90-80 victory over Mississippi State. The men's basketball team had a good game this week as well, particularly Jacoby Gillespie had a fantastic game. And we got some new portal additions tonight that we got to talk about. But we also know that there is a college football semifinal game happening right now. So we want to go watch that too. So we're probably going to keep it to about half an hour tonight. We'll finish up about 10 o'clock and we'll all go watch the college football playoffs. So Ruston, we'll start with the Lady Vols. Just finished a victory. What did you think about them tonight?
I think they're really starting to figure out their roles. I like seeing Mia Paldo as the primary ball handler. I think they probably would have won by 20 if Kanaya Boyd had been able to play. Talasia had to handle the ball a little more than I would like for her to, but I think if Kanaya Boyd hadn't been out, that wouldn't have been the case. I wonder if they're listening to our show because the rotation has changed significantly to a lot of the things that we've been talking about. They also tonight, I would say, ran motion offense 40% of the time and quick hitters 60% of the time, which tells me that they have come to the realization that they cannot trust them to make good decisions. So they're going to make the decisions for them, which is something I've wanted to see for a while. As much as possible, Talasia is not handling the ball. I mean, you can watch her sometimes take off up the floor and she's immediately looking for somebody to defer to so that she can go run off screens. Their on-ball defense has gotten significantly better. It's been good to watch that. Their defensive rotations and box outs are still horrendous. They have got to get better there. Teams are going to beat them just on offensive putbacks because they don't rotate and box out at all. So they've got to get better there. But you see signs of life, you see signs of things growing and getting better, and people starting to come into their roles and understanding their roles. And Jersey Wolfenbarger did not step on the court tonight. Lauren Hurst got all of her minutes. So I'm wondering if they're watching because everything that we've talked about is what is now happening.
Well, they scored 90 points. Anytime you score 90 points in a game, it's a good night offensively, no matter what happened. But they did take better care of the ball tonight. Still not perfect by any means. For example, Mia Paldo did try to make a chest pass between four people.
Yep.
The statistical likelihood of that making it through that, not high. But they did take better care of the ball tonight. And you know what? It resulted in more points. Go figure, right? Mia Paldo was on fire, especially in the first quarter. She had like 13 or 14 points in the first quarter alone. So she was obviously the spark plug that made it go tonight. Anytime you can get they're undefeated in SEC play so far. That's a great start. So happy for them. Hope they continue doing as good as they are right now. Some of the comments have come through, and then we'll go to men's basketball. Elijah said, "What's up, bros? Hey, good to see you, Elijah. Mississippi Vol, glad you're with us, big guy. Thank you. Glad you're with us. Jonathan, glad you're with us as well, buddy." He said, "Hello, Evan and Ruston chat family. Hope everyone has a great week. You too, man." Jonathan said, "Unfortunately, it looks like Levitt's going to be our quarterback." Maybe. I'm not sure about that. He apparently is going to Miami tomorrow. He said, "I hope he's learned from last year, but I trust Heupel. I don't think Heupel would sign him unless he thought he was worth the risk." Good evening, David. He said, "Good evening, Evan and Ruston. Glad to see a couple of must-needed pickups tonight." Yep, we'll talk about those. Mississippi Vol said, "Been a rather productive evening in the portal for us. Things are picking it up, it seems. Totally agree." And he said, "Go Vols, baby." Absolutely. David said, "I would take a hard pass on Levitt. His injury is a 6 to 12-month recovery. 6 months is optimistic at best. Cam Newton had this injury, took him over 10 months to recover. Let's see. Jonathan,
I think the fact that he will be visiting his third school in 4 days or third school in 5 days when he shows up at Miami is all I need to know about how much I don't want him. He is actively shopping. He is clearly pitting people against each other, running the price up. We already know that his own teammates want nothing to do with him. I'll roll with George McIntyre before I'll take Sam Levitt. I have no interest in that guy being a Vol.
Okay, welcome, buddy. Good to have you. He said, "What's up, Vol Bros? On time for once. Finally got my wish. Willie Martinez is gone." He said, "I believe we upgrade across the board on defense coaching changes. All poking aside, I did believe Willie Martinez did acceptable work while here." Agreed. David said, "Lady Vols look like they're going to get another win. Mia Paldo having her coming out party, that's for sure. Spearman stepping up when Nia Robertson struggling. And Mississippi Vol, Lady Vols are looking pretty good."
Nia wasn't a factor on offense tonight, but she actually played pretty good defense for once. I thought it was her best defensive game of the year. She's usually a defensive liability, so it was nice to see her actually guard somebody.
Oreo Puppy Dog, good to see you, buddy. Rebel Jew, same to you. Good to see you. He said Miami leading Ole Miss at halftime. Yep. That's going to be a good second half. Let's see. David said, I think. Okay, this is probably my favorite comment so far. David said, "I think this possible Levitt signing is the Nico signing wrapped up in a Jermod injury situation."
Yeah,
that is a fantastic synopsis of that potential sign. That is wonderful. That is well said, sir. Well said. Eric, welcome, buddy. Good to see you. He said, "Good to see y'all." Oreo Puppy Dog said, "Rumor is McIntyre may leave if we pick up a 2-year starter from the portal. If it's Levitt, it would only be a 1-year starter, unless you mean, if we got a guy who has previously started 2 years." I think McIntyre knows that next year is his it's his year. Like that next year and the year after that, if he wants it, those are his years. I think he knows that, because even if they get a guy for 1 year this year, it's going to be McIntyre the following year. So I think he knows that. Bobby, welcome, buddy. Good to have you. He said, "Girls look much better tonight." I agree. Jonathan said, "I thought Wynn would have a whole lot bigger role this season. She seems like she would fit in Kim's system."
I don't think she's ever fully recovered from her injury. The few times that she's gotten in this year, she's looked very slow. I think they're just letting her maintain her scholarship so she can graduate. I don't think she's. It looks like there's something physically wrong with her.
Welcome, Rhonda. She said, "Good evening, Vol Bros. Every evening, everyone." Tim, welcome, buddy. He said, "Hey guys, just finished watching Lady Vols. Absolutely good win on the road." Elijah said, "Baseball season also right around the corner. Preseason number 3 being Georgia Tech. Did I miss something with them?" I don't know. That's a good question.
So James Ramsey, Danny Hall retired. James Ramsey took over. Ramsey has been there a long time as hitting coach. They've got most of their roster back, and James Ramsey really made a concerted effort to recruit Atlanta hard this year. So they got some big time signees out of Atlanta to go with a really good returning roster. So they should be pretty good.
Well, let's talk about some men's basketball. Played earlier this week. Nice SEC win. Jacoby Gillespie was dominant, 34 points. That's the Jacoby Gillespie that showed up and played against Rutgers, and when they were down in wherever that was, their tournament, they were in Vegas. That's where it was.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think about the men's team, Ruston?
Jacoby was great, but again, we will win or lose based on one thing. Dwayne Brown Felix Okpara, JP Estrella, and Jalen Carey combined for 35 points and 18 rebounds. So long as our guards are getting theirs, if we're getting that kind of production out of the post, and it doesn't matter if it's spread out among 4 guys, if you're getting 35 points and 18 rebounds out of your post players, you're going to win the majority of your games. And they did a really good job balancing that. When they needed points, they attacked the paint. They made sure Jalen Carey and JP Estrella got touches. Love Dwayne Brown in the high ball screen. He looks very comfortable rolling from the top of the key. They figured out that's kind of his thing, and they ran it repeatedly. They're really coming together. I thought it was fascinating that Amari Evans and Troy Henderson got all of Amari Abram and Ethan Berg's minutes. I don't think that'll continue. I think Amari Evans is going to just continue to get big minutes because he's playing. He deserves it. I don't see Amari Abram continuing to get Troy Henderson's minutes. I think that'll probably flip some because Amari Abram just brings so many things to the table. I think that was a Rick Barnes motivational tactic. He was trying to get Amari's attention. But I just don't see how you keep that guy off the floor. But it's crazy how much guard depth we have. Like, they're very comfortable letting those guys run. And Amari Evans is a superstar in the making.
100%. Jalen Carey is so ridiculously strong.
Yep.
The guy is just he's a bulldozer, man. And he's so skilled to be, that big of a dude, that strong of a dude. He's very offensively skilled.
Yep.
And so he's fun to watch. I mean, he is fun to watch. You're exactly right. I mean, our front court is playing incredible. If we get the ball inside, we're going to score. I mean, that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
And it's fun to watch. It really is. And so when you got those dudes who are consistently scoring well inside, and then when you add on people on the outside actually making shots, you how do you stop that? Like, pick your poison at that situation. So there's the recipe. I mean, that's how we beat Houston. That's why we demolished Rutgers. That's why we beat Texas the other night. When they play like that, there are few teams in the country that can compete with them that way. Let's see here. Elijah said Gillespie is elite when he's on. Not a whole lot of players in the country better than that. That's totally fair. Absolutely. Yep. David said we need to give Estrella and Brown minutes. I mean, he certainly he shows flashes every once in a while of what he can be. And then there's long stretches of, whoa, man, he's a true freshman, I guess. But I mean, Amari Evans is playing better than Nate Ament right now. There's no doubt about that. Waniac, wow. Thank you very much for that super chat. We appreciate that very much. He said, make free throws and we'll win. Got to make them at a better percentage. That's true.
They did a better job the other night. They were 21
For
of
sure.
29. That's a drastic improvement from the last one.
Rhonda said, do you think they're gelling now? I would say so. And I think a prime example of that is the interior passing.
Yeah.
It's really impressive. Elijah said, I think Nate had one of his better games as a Vol. I know he had a few turnovers, but he had 8, 5, 2, 4, and 2.
Yeah.
50% shooting.
I thought he did a good job.
What happens when you make your free throws? Yeah.
Yeah. I thought Nate did a good job picking his opportunities. And, Jimmy Dykes kept saying it the other night during one of the games. I can't remember which one. He was like, they want Nate Ament to take those 12 to 15 foot jumpers. Like, that's a shot he should be taking and making. And so,
unguardable.
As long as he keeps taking it, it'll come. Like, he's gonna start hitting.
I mean, if he's got a dude that's 6'4", 6'5" guarding him,
yeah,
and he takes one dribble to the free throw line, extended or something, pulls up for a jumper, they can't guard that shot. Like, he will elevate higher than them and get the ball off. So if he can learn to make a contested shot like that, the dude becomes unstoppable. He just has to be strong with the ball and not let him. I mean, they all know the scouting report on him now. When he takes that last dribble, you try to strip the ball out of his hands as he's bringing it up to shoot. And that is 100% the scouting report on him. And it's working. The teams that he's got to learn, once he gets stronger with it, getting it up off the floor, snatching it up off the floor, all of a sudden those strips are going to become fouls, and he'll be going to the free throw line a lot more. David said Ament needs another year because he's not a first rounder, let alone a lottery pick. I definitely don't think he's a lottery pick right now. Let's see.
Hey, it'd be wonderful if he came back.
I totally agree.
I mean, think about it. This team loses Jacoby. Is there anybody else?
Probably Felix. I don't know if Felix has any eligibility left. He might have 1 year. I don't know. Rebel Juice said, I heard Hype was visiting in Martin. You think that was for Graham Simpson in the future? He and Westview just won state. Ty declared. I think it was actually to see Ty, but then Ty declared. Let's see here. John said, it kind of worries me the amount of minutes Gillespie's playing. Well, that's fair. Yeah. He's not going to have the legs to continue playing this well all tournament. Thankfully, tournament games are twice a week. That's it. Thankfully. But you're right. I mean, the dude plays the whole game, like literally the whole game. Let's see. I believe Orange said I'm late. You probably talked about this. Do you think Sam signs with Tennessee?
Hope not.
Who knows? I mean, who knows? He's trying to get LSU to sign him. Apparently, he priced himself out of Kentucky, apparently. And then he comes to Tennessee. He stays here for 3 days. He's going to Miami tomorrow. Who knows, man? David said Kerry needs to take 200 free throws every practice because he needs it.
He was better. He was better against Texas. You can tell that they all went and got in the gym and worked on free throws. They all looked a lot more consistent. They all looked a lot more in rhythm.
Yeah, I mean, Jalen's got a nice stroke from the free throw line.
Yeah, I just looked. It's just Jacoby and Felix. If Nate Ament comes back, literally everybody on this roster is back except Jacoby and Felix. That's pretty stout.
That's pretty good. Elijah said if Ament doesn't start knocking the jumpers down, turn it into a foul baiter because people have to jump to be able to contest a jumper. So pump fake, get him in the air and jump into him. Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Yep.
Wayne says he's pulling for Ole Miss. David says Tennessee versus Florida. It's going to be a heavyweight fight. Oh yeah, the front courts are going to be fascinating to watch in that one. Wayniak said it's hard to win on the road in basketball. It is, which makes the Lady Vols win.
Especially at Florida, that team can score.
I believe Orange said, I think the best so far is the kicker we signed, No More Racing Hearts. Well, we don't know. He hadn't kicked a kneeling yet.
They definitely targeted someone with an attitude.
He wears a leg sleeve. He's a kicker.
But you need to pull up some of his videos of him talking to the camera. He likes to record himself. That he is your stereotypical crazy kicker. Like he's got a different mentality.
Well, good. Sanders, hey, welcome, Sanders. She said, did y'all watch the ladies game? We did. We just finished watching it. She said, this is the best I've seen them play all season. They played really, really well. They limited turnovers. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
David said Mia Paldo was her. Chris said, I just know Doug Shows is going to be reffing that game in Florida. Well, so let's talk transfer portal, and we'll wrap up this evening with the transfer portal. Yeah, Tennessee's lost like 20 players so far. They have now gained 5.
Not as bad as Auburn.
That's true. So of the 5 we have now, as we've mentioned, we've got a kicker wearing a leg sleeve from
who's also who's also a Texas Hold'em player. That's my major concern with him. He does videos talking about his poker games, which is, borderline NCAA violation gambling.
Yeah, a little bit.
So I hope that doesn't spill over into any other areas.
Yeah, for real. So we got the kicker from Louisville. We got a defensive line commitment tonight, Xavier Gillum from Penn State. That's a big.
That's
one.
a good
Literally
one.
a physically big one.
Yeah, he's also a really good player. That's a good get.
I think Xavier, of the five, well, I mean, I was going to say of the five so far, Xavier's probably the most immediate impact guy. But then I was like, well, no, that's got to be the kicker because he has to go out and kick the ball all game long. So, he's getting points up for us.
The corner from Auburn should play major minutes.
That's what I was about to say. I was going to say we got a corner from Auburn, and that's what led me to think about immediate impact because he is going to be an immediate. Snap one, he's on the field. Like that's how that's going to go down. And but then I was like, well, the kicker's probably more immediate impact than him. Then obviously we got the offensive lineman from LSU. That's interesting to me. I honestly don't even know if the guy's going to start. He might. I doubt it. I don't know.
I like that one because I think it gives you flexibility. Jesse Perry has the ability to play pretty much any position on the line. So if Ori Williams comes in and wins that right tackle job, that allows you to slide Jesse Perry to left guard. And now all of a sudden you've got a stout offensive line.
Elijah said he thinks it was a depth piece with the Williams kid.
Maybe.
Obviously, the first commit.
He started a few games this year at LSU. So he's not bad.
And then, obviously we got Quamos, the safety from Kansas State. I think that kid's going to be fun to watch personally.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be a lot like the attitude you saw from Colton Hood, honestly.
Yeah.
He's going to be, he's grateful for the opportunity to get on the field. And you got to like that about a kid. He's grateful to be able to get out there, show what he can do. And so every time he steps on the field, he's got something to prove. And I like that. When you mentioned the kicker playing Texas Hold'em, Chris said, yeah, like the NCAA would never visit Knoxville. Elijah said, need a linebacker from Penn State too. That's correct. There's a linebacker from Penn State who's visiting Tennessee tomorrow. There's also a running back from California who's visiting Tennessee tomorrow.
Well, let's quantify that. He's not just a linebacker from Penn State. He would immediately be our best linebacker. Amari Campbell is an All-American. He's a big-time player.
And we need as many of those as we can get. So sign me up for that. It's interesting. Well, hang on. I'm not going to get it. I'll go through the comments first, then I'll give my last little thought there. Tim said that guy is a strong leg. He kicked one in the ball game that would have been good from 70 yards. The announcers are commenting on how good he was. Sign me up for that.
And he's half crazy, and that's what you want.
John said, sounds like he may have a screw or two loose.
And that's what you want in a kicker. You don't want a guy that's a normal dude. You want a weirdo. They're the ones who doesn't. I'm serious. They're the ones who it doesn't phase them when it's Alabama or Georgia games on the line. They're over there thinking about where they're having dinner after the game. They're not thinking about the kick they're about to make. You want the weird ones.
The antithesis of what we saw from Max Gilbert's facial expression in the Georgia game.
Yep.
I believe Arn said, do you think teams are going after Ty Redmond? Yes. As well as every other halfway decent player on our team. That's why so many have entered the portal. Yes. Every team is going after everyone on every other team is pretty much how this works. Every starting player on any team and even the second string on every team, teams are going after them all the time. Like I can't even fathom how many text messages these players must be getting all the time. from everywhere.
Jordan Ross, case in point.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. Let's see. Waniak said Max was already a head case.
But in the wrong way.
Yeah. Chris said the Penn State kid, Xavier Gillen, we got is recruiting his teammates. That's true. He's already shouting them out on the social medias and stuff like that. David said we need to land Damon Wilson from Missouri and Georgia. He had 9 sacks this year, all SEC edge. Waniak agreed. We need a linebacker from Penn State and the defensive tackle. Ronna said input on Chaz Coleman. Do you think he goes to LSU, Ohio State, or us?
If we get Amari Campbell along with Gilliam, I don't see how Chaz Coleman doesn't come to us. I mean, the guys and the safety. We're talking to King Mack. If we get 3 of the defensive starters from Penn State to go with 2 of their assistant, or really 3 of their assistant coaches, I don't see how he doesn't come. Like that just doesn't make sense.
Apparently, while we were talking about the kicker, Miami missed a field goal.
He did. He missed it wide right.
So here's my thing on, and if you had to, I don't want to grade, pass or fail. Up until tonight, obviously getting the 2 guys tonight helps it a little bit. But before those 2 guys committed, would you have said up until this point Tennessee has passed or failed in the transfer portal? Because I would have said failed. Before those 2 guys committed tonight, we only had 3 dudes. Portal's been open for essentially a week now. I mean, it'll be a week in 3 hours. So portal's been open for a week. We had 3 dudes coming in tonight. I seriously hope that the Gilliam kid is a domino that begins to have a lot of other pieces fall. I really hope that's the case. Because up until tonight, I would say they'd failed. Because the only quarterback, literally the only one, left on the table is Sam Levitt. And I don't even know if he's worth the money he's asking for. I don't know if it would be a negative impact in the locker room. We may have totally whiffed on the quarterbacks for this year.
I think it's really interesting that while Sam Levitt was at LSU, it leaked out that LSU was tampering with the kid from Washington.
Yeah.
That tells me LSU wasn't sold on him either.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Holy cow. Ole Miss's kicker just missed a field goal too. It ricocheted off and upright.
Doink. And then we missed out on the defensive tackle from Wake Forest. He signed with Texas Tech. And the funniest comment I've seen on the interwebs about that was a guy said, "Man, this is just it's ruined the game for me." Texas Tech, they're just straight up buying a championship. Well, yeah, that's what it is now. Unfortunately, that's the name of the game now. If you want the best players, you got to pay them the most.
Except this year they had the second highest payroll in college football and still didn't make a difference.
Yep. I mean that's the reality of it. You want to be in the playoff, you want a first round bye in the playoff, you got to go buy the people. It's sad.
So people are saying King Mack chose NC State this afternoon. I missed that. I just looked it up. That's correct. There's another Penn State safety in the portal, DeJuan Lane. I haven't watched him. I don't know if that's one we won or not, but I'm surprised by the King Mack thing. I don't know why he would go to NC State. That doesn't make any sense.
I believe I said, do you guys not think that Sam Levitt is an elite player? Or is it just the negative you're hearing about his attitude?
For me personally, is he a good quarterback? Maybe. We don't even know if he's actually healthy or when he will be healthy. I thought it was interesting that Austin Price said Tennessee required him to go through a physical. So it's almost like an NFL trade deal where he had to prove he was healthy and had to go through a physical before they would approve continuing the conversation. So number one, is he even healthy? Will he be healthy in time? Number two, I don't like the things that I've heard about his teammates and his coaches' perceptions of him. It's hard to lose an entire locker room, but he lost an entire locker room. Usually there's a couple of guys that are still good with you. Apparently it was unanimous. They all wanted him gone. So that's not good.
Absolutely. Elijah said before tonight, he said we'd failed 100% in the transfer portal. So to piggyback off what Rustin's saying, the deal with his teammates. So here's what happened, and everybody can go back and find it. I think it was on 3 Sports even, but before Arizona State's regular season was even over, there was still like 2 or 3 weeks left in the season. It was very public. Sam Levitt's agent was shopping him around, and I quote, to the highest bidder. That it was very, very public, not a good look at all. It was so public that a national media outlet, I think it was on 3 Sports, and I think it was their graphic that they on 3 or whoever the national media outlet was made a graphic that literally said shopping to the highest bidder on it with a photo of Sam Levitt talking about how his agent was publicly shopping him around. Meanwhile, his teammates are still playing. Their regular season wasn't even over yet. It ticked his teammates off so bad that they went to the coaching staff and asked for Sam Levitt to not even be acknowledged at their team banquet at the end of the season. That is not good. Okay. That's like Boo Carter stuff on steroids, man. Like, that's intense. So I don't know if you want that in your locker room if you're a Tennessee fan. Just saying. Let's see. Rhonda said, what about the pair from Alabama? There are a couple players from Alabama who will be visiting tomorrow, actually. They're going to be on campus.
Another Quay, which is interesting. Quay Russell is an outside linebacker from Bama who's one of the 2 visiting. He would be a nice addition. He could play multiple positions, could start at one of those edges potentially. He'd be a nice add.
David said the Ole Miss or the LSU message boards say they offered Levitt around $3 million.
Mm-hmm. But again, even in offering him around $3 million, why were they tampering with Washington's quarterback at the exact same time?
Yep. So Elijah makes a good point. He said, I think it's insane that we got all the money from Adidas and we still aren't willing to spend it, letting so many other teams outbid us for our major targets. Yeah. Prime example, the defensive tackle from Wake Forest. Like, how do you let him get away? That was a big swing and a miss, in my opinion. Rhonda makes a great point. Rhonda said, she's talking about Texas Tech here. She said, because they even at softball, they just went out and essentially purchased a national championship. They made it to the national championship game last year. And they're plucking Tennessee's best players too. And Rhonda said, if you're paying our former softball player $2 million, they're paying big bucks for football. That's exactly right. Vol guy said, yeah, but who also done that, spending all that the cash in the portal? A&M didn't work out for them. Texas Tech better watch it. Oh, I don't know. Let's see.
So what's interesting about Texas Tech is they're kind of gambling. If you go watch that interview with those oil and different oil tycoons and billionaires that are funding all of this, they very clearly say this is a 4-year project. So their thought was, we will pay for top line talent for about 4 years. That will raise the level of caliber of the program, and we'll get better players. And because we'll finish so high in the postseason, we'll get more money into the program through royalties. And then, after 4 years, it'll pay for itself. I don't know that that's going to happen. It's going to be real interesting to see what happens after these billionaires stop giving them blank checks.
Chris said, if it's not Levitt, then I guess we got to pray that Joey wins this case. I think George as it stands right now, I think George McIntyre is our starting quarterback next season. And that's not, in my opinion, that's not a good thing. I mean, obviously 0 starting snaps. How many snaps, period? That's my question. Like, what, 12? I think I'm being generous if I say 12. 12 collegiate snaps. It's probably more like 7 or 8. And half of those were just taking a knee. I mean, like that's not a good situation. It's just not. Let's see. Rhonda said, did you see Boo visit Vanderbilt? I did. I find that somewhat humorous. I'm just saying. Let's see. David said he had surgery in November, meaning he wouldn't be able to practice until May or June at best, and he can miss games if he has a setback. It's fair. Absolutely. Tony said we need at least 10 more from the portal. At least, buddy. Yeah, if not 15.
Portal's still open for another week. Like, again,
Yep.
You just don't know. I mean, there's rumors that Steve Sarkisian's been interviewing for NFL jobs. If Sark jumps to the NFL, that means Texas's entire roster has a 30-day window in the portal. You want to talk about tampering now? Holy cow.
John said, what happened with Jordan Ross? I thought he'd be a starter next season. He would have been, yeah.
Tampering.
I don't know what's going on. I mean, people paid him money. That's what happened.
People are calling his agent and saying, hey, we'll give him this. It opens up doors.
Well, I just wish we had multi-billionaire donors that care about football.
We have a healthy donor profile. Like we've got people. Clay Travis was actually online this morning talking about it, and talking about, as a Tennessee fan, how he gives to NIL. And at one point somebody made a comment. I can't remember what the comment was, but his response was, hey, don't look at me. I've paid for several players. Like he almost like he had like a list. Like these are the guys he was funding, which was really interesting.
Odds we even get Sam at this point. I mean, who knows? Like I said, he's going to Miami tomorrow. Do we even want him? That's the thing.
Yeah.
Jeff said, still don't understand why we need to spend $4 or $5 million on a big name quarterback. We've been just fine the last 5 years without one. There are a lot of QBs that can run Hype's offense,
including the one sitting in the locker room right now.
Yeah.
I'll go back.
There's 0 experience, and there's the problem.
I'll go back to before the season started. I was on here saying I was good with George starting. I wouldn't mind to see him take a shot with him.
This is a funny one here. Chris said the funniest thing was the message board genius's tweet of the Texas Tech fan wondering if the Venezuela takeover would hurt their NIL money. That's pretty funny.
If anything, it should actually help it, but
yeah, that's true. I believe Orange said, did you not see McIntyre's high school tapes? He's really good. I agree. He is. I also think that Division I SEC football 9-game schedule and SEC play is much tougher than any high school schedule in the country. And he has had literally, somebody let me know in the comments. That would be great if you could go look it up for us real quick. How many snaps has George McIntyre had at the collegiate level as a Tennessee football player? I would love to know. I'm gonna shoot high and say 12. I really think it's 7 or 8, probably. And half of those were taking a knee.
Prior to this season, I mean, when you talk SEC prior to this season, Joey had 0. And George has a much higher ceiling than Joey Aguilar.
I'm just saying, having that few of starts, it will be evident at times next year. I'm just saying. Tim said, isn't Samuel L. Jackson a big Tennessee fan? Absolutely. We need to get some Nick Fury money up in here. That's what we need to do. Rebel Juice said the ACC is 1.5 games away from winning the Natty with Miami. Yep. And like I said, got to let George get the experience, though. We can't keep bringing in transfer QBs and not letting him get his chance. Well, I agree totally. And at this point, I mean, I've just accepted the fact that it will be George McIntyre next year. I think ideally what would have been the best scenario was we actually did good, did the right thing in the portal and paid a good starting quarterback to come in for one season next year. Not Sam Levitt, some other guy. That would have been the best scenario. Bring somebody in for 1 year. George is his backup. Faison's third string. And Faison gets the red shirt.
George got 18 snaps this year.
Well, I underestimated. I was 6 shy of so 18 snaps. Those 3 kneel downs against ETSU were valuable snaps, let me tell you. So, ideally, the best scenario would have been you bring in a proven quarterback for 1 season, let George be his backup, and that way George at least gets some meaningful snaps in games next year. And then he goes out as the starter in year 3 of his tenure, and he knows the offense extremely well by that point. He's had time to physically mature. You have no questions at all about him running the offense the next year after, which would be 2027 season. But now he's going to be thrown to the fire. I'm just saying, like this, he's going to be the guy. I hope he's ready.
What if Sark leaves and goes to the NFL? Where does Arch Manning go? Does he stay at Texas? Does he come to Tennessee, or does he go to Ole Miss?
Well, he's got 7 days to enter the portal.
Not if Sark leaves.
Well, that's true. If he leaves, that's 30. True. Yeah, that's true. I mean, if we don't get anybody, yeah, please sign me up. Let him come here for 1 season. That would be ideal.
But does he, is what I'm saying. Does he stay at Texas and see who they hire? Does he go to Ole Miss?
He won't go to Ole Miss because Trinidad signed an extension for next year if he gets to come back.
He's still not eligible. They haven't named him eligible.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. David said we need to get McIntyre a Pal's NIL deal. That's a good one there. I like that. Elijah said he has to get the experience eventually. I agree. Chris said it's maddening that they wasted snaps on Merklinger knowing he was likely leaving.
Well, they had to in case something happened. Joey went down. Merk's 1 play away from starting this year.
Waniac said most Division I QBs take over the reins of their team as either redshirt sophomores or juniors. Yep, which is the timeline that I would be proposing. Because next year he'll be a true sophomore. Actually, no. Next year he'll be a redshirt freshman. The year after that, he would have been a redshirt sophomore, which is the timeline I'm proposing. That would be ideal scenario. David said, how about we get Taven Jackson back to be insurance and have GMAC start?
I don't hate that. That could be a good option.
John said, I have no doubt that McIntyre can run the offense and will be a great quarterback. The lack of snaps worries me with a 9-game SEC season. 100% exactly the same way I feel. 100%. Elijah said Indiana would beat either one of these teams by 20 that are currently playing. I agree. Indiana's going to win the whole thing. They're the best team in the country. Let's see. Apparently, Ole Miss intercepted the ball 2 minutes ago.
Defensive end deflected one, batted it up in the air, and safety picked it off.
Matt, we're glad you're with us, buddy. He said, what did I miss? Not much. We said that before tonight, Tennessee would be considered a failure in the portal. Thankfully, we got 2 guys tonight, but they still have a long way to go. They better get a whole bunch of more fellas in that portal. Let's see. Tony said, how about the East Carolina quarterback? I mean, at this point, I think it's going to be McIntyre. That's just the reality of it.
Yeah. He's not better than what you have.
Elijah said he'd be cool with Arch coming here.
Miami should have just had an interception and the safety just dropped it right in his hands. Just didn't catch it.
I believe Orange said, does playing McIntyre buy Heupel another year? No. If anything, it increases the odds that he would not be back the year after that. Because that, like, listen, this is going to be year 6 for Heupel. He can't win 8 games or less. Like, he can't do that. And so, no, and he's going into the hardest schedule he's had since his time at Tennessee. So no, you can't say, well, he had a first-year quarterback. No, it doesn't matter. Look at all these teams that went out and actually signed somebody in the transfer portal. He should have done the same thing. Yeah, that does not get him an extra year. Wayniak's given the Powell's order for McIntyre. Double power with cheese, large fry, and large sweet tea, please. Chad said, sign Faison to a 4-year deal and start him and build with that. If that's allowed, then you can't do that. Because right now, here's the sad reality.
He's not ready for that.
Yeah. And here's the sad reality of it. If we did that, McIntyre's immediately gone. So now you have one scholarship quarterback on the roster. Faison Brand. Like you literally cannot do that. So like I'm already concerned. Right now, we're only going to have 2 scholarship quarterbacks on the roster. McIntyre and Brandon. Like they're going to have to find somebody and just say, hey, would you come play football with us? We're nice folks and we'll give you a scholarship. And the guy's going to be like, gee, thanks. The Division III school I was going to go to wasn't as good as Neyland. So, like that's the situation they're in right now.
I don't hate that Taven Jackson idea though. I mean, he's same body type, same type of player as Hendon Hooker.
Not gonna happen. Taven has 1 year of eligibility left, if I remember correctly. He's not going to come sit and be a backup for 1 year. He's just not going to do it.
Why not? He's not going to play after college. He's not going to play after college. That's why he's in the portal.
Exactly. So he's going to go. He knows this is last year to play. So he's going to go somewhere he can play.
Maybe he wants to be a coach.
That would be the only reason right there. That would be the only reason. Rebel Juice said Boo is most likely gone. I don't I can't say what I'm thinking about that, but I would be shocked if Boo Carter ends up at Vanderbilt. I would literally be shocked. Let's see. Nolan said, I'm ready to actually have a quarterback play for us more than 1 year. I want either a QB with 2+ years or McIntyre. Elijah said On3 has reported that we are heavily trending to land Levitt. Wonderful. Fantastic.
I hope that means he passed the physical.
Sean said, is there anyone left in the outside linebackers room?
So Jim Knowles is one of the people who is credited with creating that Leo position. The people who use that phrase, that was a Jim Knowles phrase. He and one other guy invented that. So, yes, there will be Leos, and if he has to go get them all in the portal, he will. But that's literally a position that he, holy cow. Ole Miss's kicker just hit the upright again, but this time it ricocheted in for a field goal. God. 56 yarder, and he doinked it in good. So there will be Leos if they have to go in the portal and sign 4 of them, he'll do that. But I mean, that's literally his position.
Let's see here. There's a lot of great comments. I'm trying to get as many as I can, I promise, but also want to go watch the football game. Let's see. Nolan made a good point. He said, I think the revolving door at quarterback is a huge reason why the offense seems so vanilla. I get that. This year it was not vanilla. Joey did a phenomenal job. We had more offensive formations in the first game than we did all of last year combined. But yeah, I mean, I totally understand what you're saying. David makes a good point. He said, if we don't have 10 commits by Wednesday, then we should panic. Totally agree. They got to start making moves, man. They got to, because everybody's signing places.
But that, again, that doesn't mean there aren't people who could be in the portal. And, what you're going to see here, I'll tell you what you're going to see this upcoming week. You're going to see a bunch of dudes enter the portal with no contact tags.
For sure. Yeah.
Which is just the open admission of guilt of tampering. But, that's what's going to happen. They're testing the waters. They're negotiating. They're evaluating what's available in the portal now. And they're deciding who they want to pull the trigger on, who they don't. And then once they get past this week, they're going to look around the country and go, okay, I want that guy, I want that guy, and I want that guy. What do we have to pay to get them? And all of a sudden, you're going to see just random people from around the country entering with no contact tags. And, it's going to be hot and heavy all week of a lot of that.
100%. Any other thoughts about the portal before we sign off for the evening?
Nope. It's just people need to relax. There's a long way to go.
You're calmer about it than I am.
We got money. At the end of the day, money talks. And, just like
we
Jordan
need to start
Ross.
Spending it.
But just like Jordan Ross, I mean, there's no, everybody's freaking out that Jordan Ross is visiting other places. He's just negotiating. There's nothing that says he won't be back. It's all negotiation.
Sanders said, with how Mia Paldo played tonight, she'll have a case for freshman of the year if she continues to play like she is now. For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you tear it up like she did tonight. Yeah, that's turning some heads. Matt said he is not relaxing. Let's see. I Bleed Orange said, great show, guy. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. He said, I love the Vol Bros. Well, appreciate that very much. Love y'all too. Chris said, the portal giveth and the portal taketh. Unfortunately, lately it's been mostly taketh. Yeah, that's accurate. I sincerely hope they get Jordan Ross to resign. Jonathan said, great show as always. I'll see everyone Sunday night. Absolutely. We'll be live Sunday night for sure. We hope everybody has a great evening. I agree with Waniak. He said Ross is pulling the Ricky Gibson, appeal for more money stuff. Absolutely. Elijah saying, night bros, have a good time watching the rest of this banger of a game. Yeah, man, I'm excited to go watch it. Sanders said, I'm happy to see progress every game from the team. I agree. She's talking about Lady Vols. I agree. Totally agree. Well, Tim said good night and God bless. Absolutely. God bless all of you. Totally agree. And we hope everyone has a great evening. Go Vols, baby. And we will see everybody Sunday night. Sunday. So we will see you then.